I think these guys just set this thing up to catch a blooper of me just smashing through the chairs.
This whole thing is an elaborate prank.
Yeah. It's not even a show, really. Hey everyone, my name is Stewart Schuster. I'm one of the guys behind the scenes, so you don't see me very often in front of the camera. But I'm here today with Mr. Ben Burns, and this is a little show that we like to call the One Sheet. We're going to be talking about movie poster design, and the first movie poster that we're going to be talking about today, today's inaugural episode, is 2010's The Social Network, directed by one of my favorite directors, David Fincher, starring Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield, Armie Hammer, Max Minghella, Joseph Mazzello, and Rooney Mara. And it was designed by a company named Keller House Incorporated. They've also been working with David Fincher on some of his other films, Gone Girl, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. They also did another one of my favorite film posters in recent memory, which is the poster for Under the Skin, The House of the Devil, and I'm Still Here. So just a little bit of background in case you haven't seen the film. Social Network is just a dramatized version of how Facebook came into existence. There's a couple of reasons why I wanted to do this one. And the first reason is because, you know, obviously Facebook is such a big part of everybody's life.
Yeah.
You and I grew up without this.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I think I was one of the first users of Facebook in the South. I think it was when it was still restricted just to college students.
Yeah.
And that's when I got in, and I was already 20 years old at that point.
Yeah. I was definitely in my 20s. I don't remember exactly when, but it's just interesting to me that so much of the audience that keeps this film alive so many years after it's come out are the ones who grew up on it, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start with this. Another reason that I want to start with this is because if you notice, I believe that's the Futur font.
Yeah.
Which is one of
you.
our house fonts.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's sprayed all over the front of that poster. So I thought I'd make a little point of that there. But the last reason that I wanted to talk to you about this poster is the fact that, like, I actually don't like this poster.
Oh man, okay.
And the reason that I don't like it is because even though I love Jesse Eisenberg as an actor, I don't like seeing his giant face on this poster. And then also, like, with all the text slapped onto it. So from a design standpoint, what do you see in this?
So it kind of looks like they're trying to communicate. I mean, his character is slightly ominous in this movie, right? I mean, it's obviously a dramatized version of Mark Zuckerberg's story. And so I think what he's doing, it's almost like he's peering through the blinds. So you see his eyes behind the text, and it's almost like he's like kind of creepily looking out at you. And I think that there's a lot to parallel there with the actual Facebook platform, because we give it so much that on the other side of the screen, there's somebody there. And so I think that there's some interesting parallels that we can pull from the design that reflects the story of Facebook and what Facebook is. And so it's really interesting to juxtapose something that we use on a day-to-day basis with something that, you know, maybe it's kind of creepy. Maybe it's slightly an ominous things that we've invited into our life.
I can totally see that.
Yeah. So, and then another thing that I noticed is that they're combining an italicized version of the typeface with just a normal, you know, I guess the regular version of the Futura. I don't know why they did that. Normally it's to draw emphasis, right? You italicize something to draw emphasis. And what they're choosing to draw emphasis to is 500 million and then without making. And so the hierarchy there is a little confusing for me. So I'm not sure what the thought was behind it, but it's really difficult for me to get. And when designers choose to do this, and they've obviously decided to lay out the type like this to maximize the space, to fill it end to end, and it's a very clear rectangle. But the emphasis is get to a few. And so it's like the hierarchy, to me, in my opinion, is a little bit off. I probably would have emphasized 500 million a little bit more. Either made 500 bigger or made it fill the space. So that's kind of my interpretation of this. The second thing is that we have the navigation, the UI, and it's turned on its side. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that's a powerful statement because it could have been at the top, but it's something that's instantly recognizable. It's just off a little bit. It's a little bit off kilter. So I think that combination, it's just like, it amps up the drama and it amps up the ominous nature of what the vibe of this film was. Yeah. But I think that the overall vibe and the overall feeling, the first time I saw this poster, it was hanging in a movie theater. Mm-hmm. And it made me take a second look because I saw this person peering through this wall of type. And it was almost kind of code to me. A little bit because it was just edge to edge. So it was almost like, oh God, what is he doing back there?
The designers in you, just your mind blew up when you saw it.
And so it caught my eye. And so I would say that the poster did its job because as I was walking through the theater, it was like, bam, oh crap, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
So a little bit of critique, a little bit of compliment there.
Indeed, but the main point that you made there is the poster did its job. Mm-hmm. Like it got your attention.
Yeah.
And that's what they're supposed to do.
You guys are watching The One Sheet, and now it's time for Did You Know? Stewart?
So here's a few facts about The Social Network. Most of the shots depicting Harvard's campus were actually shot at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore because Harvard would not let them shoot there after Love Story back in the 60s destroyed parts of the campus. The song that begins the film, Hand Covers Bruise, is played 2 additional times in the film, but each time it was re-recorded with the piano further away from the mic to represent Mark Zuckerberg's movement away from his friends. Lawrence Summers, the real-life college president that the Winklevoss twins go to complain to, says the film's depiction of that meeting probably isn't too far off.
Catherine, I've got students in my office now. Students. Undergrads. I don't know. From the looks of it, they want to sell me a Brooks Brothers franchise.
Summers says, quote, "One of the things you learn as a college president is that if an undergraduate is wearing a tie and a jacket on Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock, there are 2 possibilities. One is that they're looking for a job and have an interview. The other is that they are an a-hole. Rarely have I encountered such swagger, and I tried to respond in kind."
And instances of theft, misappropriation,
and
Yes, sir.
punch me in the face. Go ahead.
So, Lawrence Summers keeping it real. Harvard alum Natalie Portman, who was going to Harvard at the time when Mark Zuckerberg was creating Facebook, invited writer Aaron Sorkin to her house for a dinner with fellow Harvard alumni so they could give firsthand accounts of attending the school during the time that Mark Zuckerberg did. Although Armie Hammer effectively played both of the Winklevoss twins, model Josh Pence played the body of Tyler Winklevoss with Armie Hammer's head digitally replacing his. The two went through 10 months of training to play twins.
That was Did You Know? Now it's time for your knowledge check. So we know that the typeface used on this poster is Futura, but what typeface is the Social Network set in? Let us know in the comments below. That was the first episode of The One Sheet, and I would so appreciate if you would like and subscribe. Let Chris know in the comments below if you like this video. You see, what we're trying to do is we're trying to produce more content that takes our interests and smashes them together. Stewart loves movies, I love design, and so this was a natural expression of both of those interests. So if you like this, let us know in the comments below.